All right, now I'm going to talk about homework. So, the first thing is how to do homework. And one of the biggest things is just making sure that you pick a consistent time to do it, that you have a place for your child to do it, and that you have the supplies that your child needs. A lot of times I tell parents, let them pick when they want to do it. You know, sometimes some kids it might be better to do it before dinner, some kids it might be better to do it after dinner. Letting them wind down after school. Some kids like to do it right away after school and get it done. So I leave that up to families, but if you have a consistent time, it'll really help with this. So, and always check the planner. Anything that I put in the planner is homework for that evening. So that's why it's in there. The first thing, each Thursday I will send home a spelling list electronically. It has words 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the 10th word is a personal word. So your child, there'll be 3 choices. You and your child will pick which word to do as word number 10. So the spelling test itself is only worth 10 points, but they need to pick either A, B, or C for number 10. And that makes it worth the 10 points. This is also will be on my website each week, so that in case you don't get it electronically, you can also check my website. Next, some of the things, helpful hints for spelling strategies. You have this in your packet, but one of the great things is use magnets, use wiki sticks, sand, salt, shaving cream, stampers, anything like that. Rainbow spelling, kids love this. They write the word in one color and then they trace over it in another color. Especially their favorite thing is doing this with markers. So good spellers know how words look and encourage your child to visualize the word in their head before spelling it. So you can have also help them to see that there are letter patterns or smaller words in larger words. That can a lot of times help them with their spelling also. Then there's a little strategy for see it, say it, spell it, and you can read that in your packet. Another thing that I provide parents is a link to Spelling City. My kids love it. I have had parents say this is the way they got their kids to practice their spelling words. And so what you do is you go to Spelling City, and it's http://www.spellingcity.com. And then when you do that, then you go to Find a List, and then you'll go in here and you will type in Jennifer Robinson, and then you'll just click on search. You will see my list here. Oh, we have 2 Jennifer Robinsons now. I'm the one at Fieldstone Elementary, so you will click on my list. And you can see over here that Theme 1, Week 1. Theme 1, Week 2, Theme 2, Week 1. So all the spelling lists are here. If you click on, so also if you don't get it electronically, this will have all the spelling lists. So we have, this is Theme 2, Week 2. These are the spelling words, plus the 3 personal words will be on here. Then your kids can choose. They can take a spelling test, they can have flashcards, or they can even play a game. There are lots of games in here. Spelling Test Me, Spelling Teach Me, Match It Sentences, Word Sentences, Sentence Unscramble, Which Word Definitions, Wordorama. Lots of great things for the kids to do. And like I said, my own children have really enjoyed this website. So it's made spelling a lot easier at home. The other thing that will be coming home electronically, so through the email on Thursday, are the vocabulary words. The first 3 are vocabulary, and then the next 5 are the high frequency words, so words that they need to know. Students are tested on these 5 high frequency words each trimester, and they are, in a sense, graded on these. These are the vocabulary words that go with the story that we're working on for that week. We did doubles of them for you so that you can cut them out, put them on index cards, play games with them, go fish, word find, things like that. So, then, with math, there are some things to let you know about. One of the things is that there are home links that will come home. We're pretty choosy about which ones we want you to work on. We want you to be able to see, we send them home. Kids need to practice them, and we also want you to see what your child's doing at school. So one of the things to know is that with everyday math, the home links, they're to be done together with a parent and child. A lot of times the kids, you know, they need that extra help. And then, if nothing else, if they do it, you making sure to check it over that they did it correctly. So, just reinforcing that everything's going okay with it. The one thing that I want you to notice on the home links is that right up here it has a little picture of a book. It says MRB, and then it has a page number. Well, with this one it says MRB 47. And so that's my reference book. And the students have these books and they can bring them home whenever they have a home link. And then you turn to page 47 and that'll tell you, that'll show you what your child will be working on. So, and it'll help you in case you don't understand how to help them. Okay? The other thing that'll come home with math is a family letter. After each unit, you get a family letter. It's usually about 4 pages. It'll tell you what we're going to be working on in the next unit. It'll give you vocabulary, what it means. It will also tell you some of the different things, how we're going to teach it, that kind of stuff. And then it also, the most important thing, and I don't tell the students this, is on the back, the last page, gives you the answers to the home links. Sometimes when you're at home and you're sitting there and it's like, I don't get this. But if you see the answers, then sometimes you can work backwards to help your child. So just know the answers are on that last page just in case you need them. So home links, once they go home, they don't have to be returned. We just ask that you do them at home, check them over with your child, and you're good to go. The other thing that we work on is games. So your child will be bringing home a game packet. It has lots and lots of math games. Now, we aren't doing all of these games right at the beginning of the year. I wanted to send them home. All the directions are in there so you can work on them. But I will be putting in their planner as they learn a game, and then you can work on that one at home. So please, 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 save the game folder. Save it, save it, save it. This is going to be in their planner as homework a couple nights a week. And it's a really fun way to practice their math. We also have math facts. So Mrs. Fritz and I years ago went to a conference and it was like, oh, it was marvelous. We loved it. It just totally changed the way we thought about math facts. And it individualizes it for each student. So how we start is, we have this piece of paper and we time your children to see how fast they can write. They literally have 1 minute to simply write the numbers that they see in the box. That tells us how many numbers they can write in 1 minute, which makes sense because some kids don't write as fast as others, so why would they necessarily get the same amount of problems on their math test? So we have them do this for 1 minute, see how far they get, and then we put it into this equation and we figure out how many students should be able to get right for a 15-second timing, which I'm going to show you in just a minute when we use that, and for a 1 minute timing. And that's the one that we do most days, the 1 minute. The 15th, then once we have that goal, we do a 15-second timing to see where are they at, where should they start. Some kids already know a lot of their addition math facts, so they might be able to start ahead in a different spot. Some kids are still just starting to learn them, so it really individualizes where they're going to start with their math facts. Then, once we determine where they're going to start with their math facts, then they get the sheet that looks like this. We simply orally practice the top part in class for a couple minutes, And then the students take the test on the bottom part. And this is where that goal comes in. So say their 1 minute timing goal is 23. So long as they get 23 correct, then they pass their test. If they don't get 23 done, I put the letter P up here for practice. And then that's what you do in the evening when it says math facts. You're going to practice this top part orally for 5 minutes. That's all, that's it. So, and then there's a video if you want to see how to practice math facts with your child. That's on my website. Next, reading. This is really the big one that we ask parents. This is the so important one. Your kids in first grade really built the foundation for their reading, and now they can just take it and soar, and that's if they're practicing and reading at home. They still should be being read to. They still need to read on their own. They can read to little brothers and sisters. Older siblings can read to them. You can read to them. They can read to you. They can read to the pets in the house. Doesn't matter, just so long as they're reading. And I have a sheet in here about why I can't skip my 20 minutes of reading tonight. Some of the reading strategies, because sometimes they'll be picking out a book that might be a little bit harder for them. And they'll get to it, and that's one of the things we want to teach them. To be a good reader is when you stop and you think, okay, where am I going wrong? I'm not understanding what's happening. So we'll teach them to backtrack and read it again. Skip the word and go on if it's a word you don't know what it is. Look for key pictures. Does it make sense, or what would make sense? Does the word sound right? Say the beginning sound only, then the rest of the sentence, and look for little words within the larger word. And look for letter patterns or chunks. Your child is going to be bringing home what's called their baggie book. And this should be in their backpack every night. So you will fill out the sheet of paper in here. Each night you put the date, the title of the book, or if they're reading a chapter, so chapter 1, your initials, and if you have a comment for me, just go ahead and put it over there. This should be, and then keep their book in here also. This should be going home every single night and being read. Now, I know some kids who are more fluent readers might have, like they're reading Harry Potter, and they don't want to be bringing this home every single night and bringing it back. That's fine to not be bringing the book back and forth, but if you could at least make sure that you're filling this out and keeping it in the backpack, just so that when I do my periodic checks of these, that I'm seeing that they're reading and they're on track with it and everything. So this is an every night thing. Next, one of the things that we work on in second grade a lot is fluency. Fluency has been connected with comprehension, that if a child's a fluent reader, they comprehend more. So some of the things you can do to help your child with their fluency is to echo read with them. So that's where you read a line, they read the line. They try to match you in your pacing, in your intonation, just how you're doing it. Choral read is where you read it together. Reader's theater is where you take it and each person has a different character apart. Partner reading is where you share. Maybe one person reads a page and the next person reads a page. Tape stories. This is a really great one, and we use these a lot at our house on CD and on tapes, especially when we're traveling. My oldest son, he used to be in the car in the mornings as I was dropping other ones off at daycare and this and that. He would have his headphones and he'd be listening to a story from the time I left the house, dropped off at daycare, got him to school. He had his 20 minutes done for the day right there. So, and it also helps them because in second grade a lot of times they want to read those bigger, those longer stories, and they're not ready to necessarily read it themselves, but they are able to listen to it and read along with it. So when I say tape stories, I want you to have the book so your child's following along with it. And then repeated reading. The best thing, stories should be read more than once. Kids get things out of it. They find new things. It just helps them to become a better reader. I included a report to parents, so you can read that. Then I have our grading. So, oh, before I do that, sorry. With the Friday folder, I'm asking that you record how many minutes your child read for the week and how many minutes they practiced math. The math can include playing the math games, the math facts, doing the math home links. So all of that can be in this column. I just really need, I'll be checking this each week to make sure, and then the reading minutes also. So your child should be reading at least 100 minutes every week. And the math minutes, I'm looking at hopefully at least probably 50 minutes a week. So let me know if you have questions on that. Okay, the last thing is our grading. So with reading, the students will get either an E, S, D, or N. An E is for exemplary, and it's 95% to 100%. The S is secure, which is 80% to 94%. D is developing, 65% to 79%. And N is needs improvement, 64% and below. Now what happens with reading is it's weighted. So their comprehension is worth 80%, their phonics is worth 10%, and their spelling is worth 10%. Writing, they also get an E, S, D, or N. Math, they'll get an E, S, D, or N. It's also weighted where the quizzes are worth 40% and the tests are worth 60%. Science, they get an S or an N. Social studies, they get an S or an N. And health, they get an S or an N. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions.